oh, I forgot to mention specifically instructional materials, academic word walls was what I had a lot of observations on. Linguistic accommodations. The yes means, so 12, in 12 out of the 13 observations, I saw consistent 100% teacher meeting the affective needs of the students. Okay, and then no means no, yes means yes, there was evidence of curriculum, no, yes, no for each of these points, okay?
What do you mean by academic word wall? That means that there wasn't an academic word wall, or there was an academic specific word wall?
Yes, thank you for that. Not if you had it or not, it was, okay, yes, number one, if you had it, but number two, more importantly, was it bilingual? Okay. Number three, was it active? Did I see it, you reference it at one point? Did I see that the words matched your lessons? Kind of just evidence of, okay, these kids know that there's a word wall, they reference it, I can really tell that there's an actual interaction between the word wall aligned with the instruction in both languages. Okay? Yes.
Question on that. Does that mean like the word wall for the lesson or in general?
In general, an academic word wall, different from high frequency word wall, an academic word wall. Okay? Okay. Here are the questions that I'm going to pose to you for you to discuss in your groups. So, our self-contained groups here and our team teaching groups. The first question, and I'll go back to the data, okay? The first question is going to be, what stands out, what catches your attention? Okay, what stands out, what catches your attention? So, what stands out, what catches your attention? Those two data points that you all focused on. In terms of the commitment in order to resolve the issues, okay? So, I'm going to give you each of your groups. Well, I think you all were split into three, so I'll go ahead and leave it as three different groups.
In design of the scribe for today.
Oh, you're fine. I'm videoing, picking up paper.
What are the measurable actions that you will commit to? And I wanted for you to really think about that because you all are finishing. So that includes your rapport, your connection, the way you just manage them, you handle them, okay? All of that is included. Reading them, seeing what their needs are, okay? What else? What stands out? What catches your attention from this side?
Our linguistic accommodations were also
Great.
good.
Okay. So good, which is absolutely critical if you are a bilingual ESL teacher. Okay?
I was surprised. I know that I don't use my word wall well, but I didn't realize that I was not the only one. I really felt like when I see other people's word walls, I felt like, wow, I need to get my act together, and so I know that I'm not the only no there. I know that I'm not using mine well, and I knew that I would be a no, and that when I saw that, I was like, oops.
Okay, so then what is that?
I want to know how to do it better,
Okay.
and see, how, because I'm pretty sure, like in kindergarten, I've seen them printing off their picture with the word type in the blue and the red for the English and Spanish. But I don't know how they use, how they use it. If they're doing them all on the word wall or not. Okay. How can I make it a simple way that it's useful?
So Leah, what does that mean in terms of what? So summarize all of that.
Okay.
What stands out? What catches your attention?
So
about
we
the
need
data?
to find out who to look to for guidance on word walls.
Okay, hold on that, guidance. Now this school year, okay, it has to be, in terms of those 2 data points about the word wall, the academic word wall, and the evidence of curriculum, the objectives. It has to be measurable and doable. I don't want you all to commit yourself to doing something that you're not going to be able to follow through with at this point in the school year. So saying things like, well, I'm going to take down my word wall and totally revamp it. Well, that's, I mean, if you think that's necessary, okay, but I really want you to think about what's doable for you at this point based on the parameters and the discussions that we've had. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to go do, in April, come back and do another round of observations, systemic again, and look for those specific points. So for whatever you commit yourselves to, those are the only points I'm going to be looking at when I do the walkthroughs again. Okay? So please, with your group, answer these 3 questions and commit to them on your paper. What measurable actions will we commit to in order to resolve the key issue? What does this mean for future lessons? And what will be the evidence? It's really the first 2. Okay, what are the measurable actions that you're going to commit to in terms of both of those 2 data points? And what's the evidence? So what kind of evidence are you going to be able to show that you have resolved those issues? We're going to look at your ideas and then come up with systemically, okay, be in agreement on what is going to be doable from here until the end of the school year. Okay? Questions? Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then we'll share and be in agreement for the whole program.
Be a word wall. It can be.
Yeah, that's
It
my
can be a
voice.
vocabulary word.
I'm just strictly looking at data. What stands out? What catches your attention?
Well, we had a question about that one, because when you talked about using the word wall and the kids interacting with the word wall, not all the words are on the word wall.
Absolutely.
And they're just words posted around the room. Is that how they use all the visual materials that they have around, or is just the specific designated area for the word wall?
Okay,
Is
so
what you
I'm
meant, or-
gonna put your question comment under this point here. The point is that we need guidance on word walls. Period.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll definitely address all of those questions, but right now we're looking at this question: what stands out? What catches your attention about this data? Right? Okay. Anything else? What stands out? What catches your attention?
The evidence of curriculum is,
Okay.
I think, a concern too.
Okay.
It's guidance there.
Concern about
We
evidence.
certainly follow the curriculum, but if
Absolutely.
there's no evidence there, then
Mhm.
that's the problem. How do we show the evidence?
And who is the evidence for? Is it student-driven
Good
evidence?
point.
Very good question.
Okay, how do we show evidence? And who is it for? Okay, next question. Same data, next question. Now this is the gut question. Now, what do you think about it? How do you feel about it? So in other words, what pleases you, what concerns you, what surprises you about the data? Okay, so this is your feelings. How do you feel about the data? What do you think about it? What pleases you, what concerns you, what surprises you? Okay, data make you feel. This specific data, okay, not like well, I'm really tired today, or I wish I could be doing other things right now. It's specific to the data. Okay, so how does it make you feel? What pleases you about the data? What concerns you about the data? What surprises you about the data?
I think we feel overwhelmed by,
which of
well, like with the evidence of curriculum and the word walls, because it's just so much being self-contained. There's mountains and mountains and mountains of vocabulary words for every content. How should we guide our wall? And, every single person has got their own words, and how, per unit, per week, or how should we do that? And, with the curriculum objectives, like writing an effective objective for every subject that we teach every single day is just so much.
Okay. Did say? Yes.
Relieved that I'm not the only one struggling with something.
Okay. Relieved. Good. relieved with the data.
And if you look up overall, there's some pleasing things about it.
Okay,
You know,
like what?
well, I think to me, the two most important things is kid watching and that we are teaching good language. I mean, we're good at teaching language, it looks like.
The two most
The
important
two,
things
I
are in
think two of the
place.
very most important things are in place. I mean, number one, I think if you meet kids' needs, they're free to learn.
And the
they
two
want
that,
to learn.
and the two that are the hardest to teach someone to do are in place. And that's, because it's hard to teach someone to meet those effective needs. That's almost an intrinsic thing.
Okay, hold on just a second there, please, about doing the hard things well.
Sounds good.
And if those are good basis for these others.
Right.
If we've got those in place, then we're gonna be able to pull
That's the
these
next
others
step.
easier.
Right, and that's what we said, basically the same, is the other two, you really can't accomplish it if they don't feel trust and a
Exactly.
rapport and some sort of a safety within your four walls when they're with you. And
Absolutely.
that's the same thing that they just said, you know, and now we can focus on the other two. That's what we need so that they have that same language, that same, you know, academic language and all of that. So we were excited about that, and it made me feel good. Okay, my word wall's not perfect, but I know my students, and I think we have a good relationship going, and we can really move forward the next 2 months.
Okay,
And Annie, I think that the hardest ones are, I mean, like Tammy said, those are like your teacher's gut feelings, like your teaching, the teacher in you. Now, the evidence of curriculum and instructional material, I think those are two things you can be trained on.
good.
So you can fix those two. But if you're not meeting the effective needs of the kids, it's really hard to learn how to do that. That needs to be part of your nature, like Tammy
That's right.
said. I mean, it has to be the teacher in you.
Very good. Okay, good. Very good. The next question then is the so what, okay? So we've looked at the data. You've talked about how you feel about it. Now, so what? So what is the central concern here if we're going to be looking at the two areas that you all pointed out, which was the evidence of curriculum and word walls? Okay, so what? So, okay, we have the data. I know how I feel about it. I know that these two areas here are the point of focus. So what is the central issue with delivering these two? These two are not a problem anymore. These are our strengths, right? What is the central issue with delivering these two well? Okay? So
Define it.
that's this point here and this point here. Evidence of curriculum and instructional material specific to word walls. This group? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
What was the question?
The question is, if you can share what your group talked about in terms of, so the so what? What is the central issue or concern about implementing these two pieces? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we were wondering, because some teachers their word wall is in about 5 inches, and some, it's in the language of that they instruct in. So we were wondering.
Okay, so you need just some guidance? So some guidance is needed? Okay. Guidance is needed about word walls,
And we need a district alignment.
okay? Hold
And
on,
on
this is a
what and how.
district alignment specific to which data point?
I think the word
Word
wall.
wall.
On
Okay.
what and how. How to do it and what to put on it.